we are starting our lesson on plate motion and fossils today. So to start the day, we are going to be thinking about what fossils have to do with understanding Earth's history. So we already looked into our geological past and how different landforms were formed. So now we're going to use fossils to understand this history on Earth. And I just wanted to share with you that surprisingly, geologists actually use fossils that they find embedded right in rocks to help them understand the big, long history that Earth has. So we're going to watch a video today to better understand. We are going to read an article. We are going to meet a scientist, and we are going to be looking at some of the geological mysteries that happen here underneath Earth's surface. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's just do a quick check-in while we're here. So just let me know how you're feeling today. Are you feeling great? Are you feeling okay? A little bit down? Or are you not having such a great day? Just let me know here in the comments. Remember that during instructional videos, we want to pay attention to the video. Take notes as you watch if you have a notebook or something like that, and then review or rewatch confusing parts. So if I talk too fast or if you didn't understand what I said, these are some great things that you can do. Before you get started with your video, make sure you're in a spot that's not distracting. Use headphones, borrow a pair from me, use your own, and then review any materials that you need. And then after you're done, you should rewatch any parts that you need to, move on to the practice assignments, and then ask questions if you get stuck. So today, I'm curious, what do you already know about fossils? So if we look at this image, we can see that scientists right now, they're digging, they're uncovering fossils, and here are some examples of some fossils. And what do you know about fossils? Do you know anything? Do you know not a lot? Do you want to know more? So just tell me what you know. Fossils are like time capsules, and scientists use them to help us understand how the Earth was formed or what the Earth was like when those fossils were formed. So this could have happened thousands or even millions of years ago. We, in just a moment, are going to watch a video that's going to help understand and tell the story of the past. So just sit back and listen and enjoy. Cool. Get the video.
So this is the right arm of a sauropod dinosaur, a long-necked dinosaur called Jobaria. And so if you were to think of this animal as it were alive, you would just bring these bones up like this, and then put the upper arm bone on top of it, and you'd have an animal that was pretty tall. My name's Jeff Wilson, and I'm a paleontologist at the University of Michigan. And paleontologists study the history of life, both past and present. And one of the things that I've focused on over the years has been the reptiles of the dinosaur era. Just this February, I went with a team to India. And we went to India with the idea of understanding what India looked like at the end of the dinosaur era. Walking around, looking at the ground as we do as paleontologists, I noticed that there was a little tiny bit of a shell sticking out. It was something that looked like a shell. And realized that it was a shell of a baby turtle. And that baby turtle was still partly in the rock and still partly exposed. So we carefully dug around it with some tools and brought it out. And then we opened it up in the safety of the lab where we have all the tools, all the equipment we need to very carefully clean up the turtle. Our preparator sits with the fossil under a microscope and removes that rock very carefully. And every day I go in and check on the progress. Hey, Bill. Hey, Jeff. How's the turtle coming? So right on the bone here. Oh, wow. Can I take a look? Yeah, sure. Really gone deep. You've got part of the leg there. Our turtle, when it gets cleaned up, will go into a museum collection. Here at the University of Michigan, our Museum of Paleontology has a large collection of fossils. So, for instance, if I'm studying a snake, I can just go downstairs into our collections, open up a drawer that has fossil snakes of a similar time period in them, take those fossils out, bring them up to my office, and I can study those snakes and the snakes that I've collected side by side. So this fossil snake is interesting because it's an early fossil snake, but it's also interesting because it was preserved caught in the act of eating a hatchling dinosaur. So it was found in a nest with dinosaur eggs next to a dinosaur hatchling, and it was coiled around the eggs and prepared, we think, to eat the hatchling when it was suddenly covered up by sediment very quickly, rapidly, capturing it, freezing it in that paleo instant. When we study a fossil on a fossil site, we're not only interested in the bones and the traces themselves, but we're also interested in the geological context, how it was buried and what it was buried in. And in the case of this ancient snake from India, we can learn a lot just from looking at the sediments. So these sediments tell us that the dinosaur nest was made in the sandy margins of a river, and the plug of sediment that was on top of this seems to have been something that was loosened during a storm where a large clod of debris covered this up very quickly. So fossils like these tell us not only about the organisms themselves, but also about Earth's geologic past. Paleontology involves doing a lot of puzzling, sort of mental puzzling, and even sometimes physical puzzling when we're putting specimens together. And so if you're interested in trying to understand how things got to be the way they are, then paleontology may be the kind of discipline that you should go into.
All right, so comment here, what kind of evidence does Dr. Wilson use in his research? So think back to the video, and what kind of evidence was he using in order to conduct this research in paleontology? And then how does the research help us learn about Earth's geological history? So Dr. Wilson talked a lot about how he used this research and compared different fossils in order to learn more about the geological history of Earth. Our unit question is, why are fossils of species that once lived together found in different locations on Earth now? We are going to be investigating this question here in the next few days. So here is a letter that we got in order to do this. So I will read it to you now. We are lucky to have fossil specimen of Mesosaurus to display in our museum. The fossil remains of this organism were found in hard, solid rock near our museum in southwestern Africa. Fossils of Mesosaurus that originally lived at the same time and in the same place are also found thousands of kilometers away across the Atlantic Ocean or the eastern coast of South America. This is puzzling because this ancient animal could not swim very far. Why are Mesosaurus fossils found in South America and Africa, continents that are now thousands of kilometers and an ocean apart? We are building an exhibit to answer this question for our museum visitors. We need your help to do so. So let's do some research in order to figure out how we can help them understand why these Mesosaurus fossils were found very far apart, one in South America and the other in Africa. So we are going to use our understanding of geology. Remember, geo, we're talking about the earth and the rock. And we are going to find out what happened to the rock that the Mesosaurus fossils were found in. So remember, when we're looking at fossils, we're thinking about things that were found inside of rocks. So where the kind of rock that it was found in. And then why are fossilized remains now found so far away from one another when they were once together? So while you're doing your active reading, I just want you to think carefully about what you read. Pay attention to your understanding. Make sure you're annotating, highlighting, and examining the pictures and the words that go with them, the text that go with them. This is your article. You are going to be annotating. Remember that we can use highlighting if we're looking for important things. So I might say Mesosaurus is an important. Oh, it says Mesosaurus means middle lizard. I believe that's important, knowing what it means. So we're going to use that we're going to use our annotations in order to better understand what we are reading. Remember that you have the option to level your reading, so you can pick the path that is best for you. We have 3 paths here. And just a visual example of what you'll be looking at. So South America is here, Africa is here, and the Mesosaurus fossils are being found in both this dark green area as well as this dark green area. And so remember, we're looking at the question, why are mesosaurs found on continents that are now 1,000 kilometers apart on an ocean? I hope you enjoy this lesson and this reading, and remember, today is a great day to learn. Happy learning!